Let us now begin with Module 5 Aircraft Fueling. In this module, you shall learn about 1. The aircraft fueling and defueling process. 2. The general precautions to be taken to avoid a fire hazard. 3. Airside hazards that result from fueling process. Safety measures to be practiced while fueling to avoid any accidents.
Fueling of an aircraft is done during most turnarounds. Fueling is either done by a tanker, which pumps the fuel through a fuel hose into the aircraft fuel tanks, or by a fuel hydrant, which is connected to an underground piped system and uplifts the fuel to the aircraft. Let us understand the fueling process. The fueling safety zone, which is an area extending 3 meters from the fueling point, the fueling vents, and the fueling equipment, is generally regarded as a radial area which is highly reactive. The fuel vent points are located underneath the aircraft wing, and this is where the potentially explosive fuel vapor is expelled.
Due to these inherent risks during refueling and defueling, certain general precautions need to be taken to avoid a fire hazard. They are 1. Do not smoke around an aircraft during fueling. 2. Open flames such as oil lanterns, candles or matches are prohibited. 3. Do not use portable electronic devices such as mobile telephones, portable radios and pagers during fueling activities. 4. During fueling with passengers on board, no vehicles or equipment may park near the emergency exits, so that in case of emergency, the emergency exit chutes can be deployed without hindrance. 5. Do not start any maintenance work in fueling zone. 6. Ground power units should not be connected or disconnected during the fueling process. 7. Make sure that all spillages are cleared up immediately as per the procedures laid out after reporting to the supervisor. 8. Do not obstruct the fuel bowser. 9. An emergency escape route for fuel tankers must be kept clear at all times. The positioning of the fueling vehicle is very important. The vehicle must have a clear escape route. No vehicle or equipment should park or obstruct the fuel vehicle's escape route. Fuel bowser on aircraft should always have a clear exit with any obstruction, and also the fuel bowser should be aligned in such a way that it has a clear exit in case of any fire or emergency.
Defueling involves removal of fuel from the aircraft's fuel tank. Defueling is more dangerous than fueling, even though relatively small amount of fuel may be involved. The procedure is more difficult and drainage provisions are usually inconvenient.
Let us now take a look at some of the hazards associated with aircraft fueling.
Fuel spillage is a serious hazard that affects the airside safety. If you come across any fuel spillage incident, report immediately to the apron control for necessary action. The operator that caused the spillage must switch off his engine and remain with his equipment until the substance is cleaned up and the area is safe. Cordon off the area of fuel spillage so that no vehicles or equipment can drive through it. To avoid any such accidents, certain precautions must be taken while fueling and defueling. Based on the local requirements, the airport should give clear guidance on its policy regarding the fueling of aircraft with passengers during disembarking, embarking, transit. Ground support equipment must not be parked under the aircraft wingtip fuel vents. It is prohibited to fuel an aircraft when there is a thunderstorm in the airport vicinity. The bonding wire is fixed from the fueling vehicle to the aircraft to ensure equal grounding of electricity. If the wire is detached, fueling must stop until it is reconnected. Get trained about the functions and use of emergency cutoff button. Find out where the emergency cutoff button is located on the fueling vehicle and/or at the head of stand and when this should be switched off. Have the correct type of fire extinguisher available. Wear eye protection.
If the fueling activity turns into an accident, the fire brigade must be called to any accident involving the fueling vehicle. Find out where the emergency cutoff button is located on the fueling vehicle and/or at the head of stand and switch it off.
Remember, subject to the equipment being in good condition and safety procedures being followed, fueling is a safe operation. This brings us to the end of the 5th module, where we have learnt the aircraft fueling and defueling process, the general precautions to be taken to avoid a fire hazard, airside hazards that result from fueling process, safety measures to be practiced while fueling to avoid any accidents. Thank you.